Mr. Nelson. Many of you know me as the choir director here. Many of you know also that I'm a composer. I've composed many, probably 200 some songs. I have many published works. But many people don't know me as Bruce the Rapper. One of the things of which I'm really quite famous for. In my rapping identity, I actually go by 2-Package as my rap name. Because my twin brother and I were born at the same time, hence 2 wonderful little packages for my parents. Today I'm going to be showing off some of my rapping skills by showing you how to rap these packages that we're doing for the school project. One of the things that's really critical when you're wrapping these packages is that you don't overuse the paper, because wrapping paper is rather expensive. And it's a limited resource, and we want to make sure that we use it really wisely. So I've taken a little time to think about what this is. There's a huge difference between whether you put your box in here in this direction or this direction, and you don't want to have too much extra paper because actually it makes it harder to wrap rather than easier. So the first thing you want to do is, out of the length of paper here, cut 75 centimeters for length, because I've already figured that out, that it's going to take about that much to get all the way around this box and then have a little bit of extra. So I measured off 75 centimeters, and I put a little mark here on the edge, and to get it square, all I have to do is fold it like this, and if my edges match here, when I do this, I'll have a nice straight line. So once I've gotten that straight line, I can use that to follow here, and I can follow that line and carefully cut my 75 centimeters of paper. If you have a nice sharp scissors, it will work better. Now, 75 centimeters would be great for going this direction around my box. The full width of these papers is a little bit wide though, and it's going to actually make it harder for me later on. So what I've done is we take the 2 numbers, 75, flip them around the other way, and we have 57. And instead I'm going to use 57 centimeters going this other direction to go this way around the box. So I've marked where 57 is, and I'm going to make a fold here by matching my edges, getting a nice straight fold. And then using that line, I'm going to cut this extra off. Now, I might be able to use this for wrapping up some candy canes, or if I'm sending some perhaps Russian sausages to a friend, I could wrap them. Or if I have an extraordinarily long pencil, I could wrap it, but I have this paper for something else. So now I have a piece that's 75 centimeters and 57. And in order to wrap it, what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I find the exact center here. A couple of ways we could do that. We could do this. We put a little fold in it. Go, okay, there's the center point. And I find that. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to have about 2 centimeters extra here. So when I wrap this box, I'll end up by doing this. I'll check. And on both sides, I have about 2 centimeters. So before I go any further, I'll get my tape, and I'll fold this on. And now that, like I said, if I have this centered, which is there, and I can fold this over, making sure it's even, and I'll put 1 piece of tape there on the inside. So now it works really nicely. Then also, to make it easy, I'm going to put a little cut right to the corner, and it can be at a slight angle, but I'm going to go to the very corner there. Because now my paper will lay flat. I could put maybe just 2 little pieces of tape there. And that way we won't catch it when we're putting things in or taking things out of the box. And it'll stay really nice. Okay, now I'm going to continue this way, and I have just enough paper to do it comfortably here. On this other side, I'll do the same thing. I'll cut a little just going to the very corner, and then it's really easy for me to do this. So again, I'll pull the paper tight. It's nicer to have a friend help you with this because then one can hold the paper and one can tape it. So again, I put 3 little pieces like this. And that much is done. Now here's the part that's really important that you do nicely and neatly. I've got just enough paper that is going to go slightly beyond the center. And before I began working on my box, I actually taped these ends. It makes it easier when you're working later on. It'll make it a little bit more solid, but it does make it simpler. So I put a little piece of tape down this middle split. So I take this like this, and I push this up against here like this, and I go, so this is flat against here, and then I'm going to tape this in place like this. And again, you might have one person pull it, one hold the package, one tape. And I can do this on both of these sides like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in this way. I'm going to put all of my fold basically on the bottom. So as you see what I did, I folded the large side in so that I get the ends correct. And then with what's left, I make a nice little neat fold. So I'll tape this, and then I'll put this underneath the package, and I'll tape this down so that it doesn't get caught as they move it in and out of the truck or bring it there. So I'll put a little piece of tape on each part there. I'll tape this down, and then all I have is the other end of the box. So you can see that worked really very nicely, and you don't end up with a lot of extra paper that sticks out. I taped this inside of this in. I won't do that right now, but I'll leave it for now. And then I'll show you how to do the lid. The lid requires a little bit smaller piece, and in this case, you're going to want to go in this direction in this piece, but a 50 centimeter long piece by 40 is going to do just fine. So in this case, I'm going to go, let's see, this way will not go so well. So I'm going to go 40 centimeters here down from the end. And I can do the same thing I did earlier where I go from the end of the piece and I'll measure down 40 centimeters. Put a little mark here, and then I'm going to fold over at exactly that 40 centimeters to get a straight line. That way I don't have to measure both sides, because if my edges match, then it's going to be straight. Should be 40 centimeters. I'll cut that, and I won't need it quite as wide as for the bottom part of the box. So you might be able to take this from a piece, like the end of a roll might be really good for this, because it won't be big enough. These rolls aren't big enough for a couple. And then I'm going to go, I did 40 centimeters down the length of the roll of paper, and I'm only going to go 50 centimeters this way, because I don't want to have a lot of extra. And again, you can fold it over like this. Hopefully I get right at about 50. If I get these even, if my other cuts have been correct, I'll end up with a nice piece. And again, you can use this remaining piece rather than just having it tucked inside the box as extra. I might be able to wrap something smaller with that, or even combine it with another piece. So now I have this, and I'm going to do exactly what I did with the big box as I worked on this. I'm going to start by laying it this way. I'll have about 2 centimeters, or if you're familiar with inches, probably about an inch. I'm going to center it. I'll put 2 little cuts like this that will go into my corner. And then I'll fold this over and start by getting a nice even first piece like this. And we are nearing completion here. So I usually do 3 little pieces here. And again, you don't want to overuse the tape, because tape doesn't make your package better. Again, it's a resource we want to try to save. And Tamil is helping me hold here, because he feels sorry for older people, because many times they start to lose their ability to do things that are useful. And so often I hear that from my wife. So here we have, I'm going to cut little clips into the corner. And again, I can do a really nice, neat thing like this. Two pieces like this. And on the ends, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold these parts in first, like this. So these go flat. I'll do this and this. And I will tape these in. And then the remaining flap, which is kind of a nice little, at an angle like this, I'll tape this to the inside. So again, the last part was to take this part, get it flat against there on both sides. You can tape it in place, and then the last portion, just flatten this out. Bring the flap up, tuck it inside, and again, you can see we end up with a really, really nice, neat final package. And I could wait up to tape these until I get the flap in there. So I think actually taping it's the hardest part of the whole thing. So I'll do the exact same process on the other end. I have really a nice, neat looking box. It's quite beautiful, and that is why I'm called Two Package Bruce, my special wrapping name. Thank you very much. We hope you have a pleasant wrapping experience. That's it. I'm done.